Once upon a time in Middle-earth, nestled within the rolling hills of the Shire, there was a quaint village known for its peace and tranquility called Mickle Delving. This village was famous for its harmonious blend of hobbit craftsmanship and the beauty of nature. One brisk autumn morning, the sun scarcely crept over the horizon when the hobbits began their day. The rustic smell of fresh scones and biscuits filled the air, as maids and widows breached open their cellar doors, setting tables on the village square. In a small corner of the village, where the trees rustled gently in the wind, resided an old smith named Garayon. He was known for his intricate metalwork, often crafting in his dim-lit cellars which echoed with the sound of creaking metal and prosy hammering. Garayon charged himself with the task of mending anything broken, from simple tools to delicate treasures. Garayon had a young apprentice, a hobbit lad named Rolio. Although bred in the Shire with a generally peaceful demeanor, Rolio had clept eyes on a life of adventure. Every drawing-room tale told by visiting travelers of marvelous vistas, monstrous heaps of treasure, and ancient forgotten lore ignited a burning desire within him. The hushed-up whispers and the cracking of old parchment maps under candlelight were to him treasures untold. Rolio's chance for adventure came one evening when a throng of dwarves, led by the warrior Balin, arrived at Garion's humble smithy. Their leader, stout and sturdy, with a beard that nearly reached the brim of his iron boots, greeted Garayon with a respectful nod. "We need a master smith to reforge our ancient armor," Balin declared, "and a young apprentice can join the adventure, into the bargain." Rolio's heart shivered with excitement. Despite the elder's scowls and Garion's warning of the wicked perils that lay beyond the Shire, Rolio had already made up his mind. The next morning, Rolio and the dwarves set out on their journey. They traveled through snorting mountains, past the dark Mirkwood, and towards the lonely mountain. Along the way, Rolio learned the ways of dwarven craftsmanship and became adept at handling delicate scales of armor. One evening, as they camped near the base of the misty mountains, the group was bound to a frightful calamity. In the dead of night, a band of orcs ambushed their camp. The air was filled with the din of clashing steel and the guttural grunts of combat. Rolio huddled near the campfire, clutching his staff. Balin, seeing the boy's fear, strode away and handed him a small morsel of advice. "Fear is but a shadow. Bravery is your fire. Snap your fear like a brittle biscuit," he said. With newfound courage, Rolio joined the fray. The battle wore off with the first light of dawn, leaving the orc raiders vanquished and the group safe, albeit some singed and battered. As they continued their trek, they soon approached Rivendell, the last homely house of the elves. The serene beauty and the gentler air of Rivendell were a stark contrast to their previous trials. The elf lord Elrond hailed them with grace, offering hospitality and rest. They partook in glorious feasts, sharing delicate biscuits and honeyed teas, all while recounting tales of valor and trepidation. In Rivendell, they discovered an intricate map hidden within the library. Embossed on ancient parchment, it showed a shortcut through the misty mountains that could save them weeks, if they could pass the perilous path. Determined, Balin and his companions departed once more, following the map's braces of lines and symbols. Their next trial came in the pass of Caradhras, where fierce snowstorms attempted to thwart their passage. Each step was a battle against nature. Every ascent seemed like climbing the sheer scale of a dragon's ridge. But Rolio, armed with resilience, hushed up his grumbles and pushed forward. Finally, after days of fits and starts climbing the dangerous paths, they descended into the lush valley of Dale near the lonely mountain. The gentler slopes offered welcome relief as they traversed the land once marred by Smaug's tyranny. On their final approach to the lonely mountain, Rolio watched in awe as the majestic peak came into view. They pulled open the stone refugee door, leading clean off into the ancient dwarven caves that housed untold treasures. A vividly marvelous sheen of gold and gems glittered before them. Amid the treasures lay the broken armor they had come to repair. Rolio marveled at the weight of history embedded in the armor's every curve and cleft. Guided by Balin's wisdom, he set to work, the fires of the dwarven forge blazing brilliantly, reviving the glory of a time long past. Rolio's craft had grown formidable. With each hammer strike, The old armor regained its strength and splendor. When the final piece of work was done and the last pinch of dust cleared, Balin and his kin were ready to return to their halls as full-fledged warriors. As they made their triumphal return to the Shire, Rolio strode away from the ancient realm of dwarves, but not without the weight of lush letters and tokens of eternal friendship. Rolio had gone from a dream-filled child to a hero in his own right. Back home, Garayon was waiting at the forgery, puffing at his pipe as he worked on a new commission. He scowled as he saw Rolio, but deep down there was undeniable pride. So, the lad chose sword over scones and steel over biscuit, Garayon mused aloud. Their reunion was filled with warm tales and gentle chiding, bonds stronger than iron itself reconnecting. The village of Mickle Delving celebrated their return with a grand feast, thronging with curious hobbits eager to hear tales of great journeys. Over mugs of ale and hearty laughter, Rolio shared the wonders and perils he faced. In the end, the Shire hushed up any scorn Rolio might have incurred for leaving. Instead, they hailed him as a herald of bravery and curious adventure. The lessons learned and the stories recounted sat nestled in Rolio's heart, there to stay every time the maids would set another cracking fire in the drawing room, as the winsome village of Mickle Delving settled back into its idyllic, peaceful routine. And thus, the journey of a young hobbit apprentice became a legend in itself, passed on and on, shimmering in the warm glow of the Shire's eternal hearth.